Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing my Shop My Stash for the month of December. It's my Christmas decorations. If you guys have never seen one of these videos from me and are new here, I try to do these videos once a month where I go through my big drawers of my makeup collection. I'm in my drawer back here, and those are the products that I use during the month, whether it be throughout videos, but mainly when I'm doing my makeup off camera for every day. I found that it is the only way that I can rotate through all of my makeup and declutter, find new favorites. This year I tried a lot of new makeup. That was really the reason that I started these videos. If you guys are interested to see what makeup I'm going to be using this month, then make sure to keep on watching. But before I go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel once a week, so you never have to miss me for too long. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Before we pick new stuff for this month, I have products that I'm getting rid of. Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. I have this in the color 44N. Honestly, I prefer the foundation over this. This tinted moisturizer just did not do much for me. And I have other tinted moisturizers that I like better, that are cheaper. Also going to be letting go of this Morphe eyeliner pencil, and this is in the color Dimmer. Actually used this on one eye one day and then my NYX eyeliner on the other eye. That way I could compare side by side to see which one I liked better. And not only was the NYX one more pigmented, but it was also more smooth going onto the eye. Product that I'm getting rid of, LUNAR Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. This is just too pale for me. The colors are not vibrant enough. They barely show up. The only time I can get them to show up is if I use these two right here. That would work for my skin tone. So I feel like if you're lighter, then this is something you would like. The formula didn't bother me. It just didn't show up the way that I wanted to. The NEUTROGENA Glow Primer Serum Hydra Boost. It's nice, but Neutrogena, as we all know, is definitely on the higher end side of drugstore. But I have things that I like better that are cheaper. COVERGIRL Lid Lockup Eyeshadow Primer. I have found that I prefer pigmented eyeshadow primers. They just work better. The only one that I have that's not pigmented that I like is the e.l.f. eyeshadow primer, and I keep that because it's like $3 and it works great. I use that when I don't really need something that's not super pigmented, so that's the only one that I'm keeping that doesn't have coverage to it. We're gonna go ahead and start with primers, and guys, these drawers need organized so badly. It's been like 3 or 4 months since I have really went through them. The only 2 drugstore primers I'm gonna be using this month are both from NYX. This blue one is the HYDRA Touch Primer, and then the black one is the Shine Killer. I actually really enjoyed both of these. I want to use these together because what I like to do is use a hydrating primer and a pore filling primer, so I want to see how these work. And it is safe to say that this drawer is definitely more overflowed than the other one. I have 4 new primers this month. All of these I have only used once when they were in the full face of First Impressions. Dominique Cosmetics Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. Next we have the REM Beauty Blurring Primer. I also have the Under Eye Primer from REM Beauty. LYS Secure Skin Gripping Serum Primer. And again, I don't have much to say about those 4 because I've only used them once. I do have 2 new eyeshadow primers. REM Beauty Matte Liquid Eyeshadow, and I have this in the color Sup. Dominique Cosmetics Everlasting Eye Base. This REM Beauty, I have it in another color. I just wanted to get something a little bit darker because as you guys can see, this one's a little bit lighter. Definitely going to be in 2022 Festive Beauty. This formula is so creamy and smooth. It dries down on the lids and just gives you such a nice base to blend on top of. Technically, it's not an eyeshadow base, but I use that as an eyeshadow base because I just love the way that it blends out on the lids. Now it is time for foundation, and this drawer needs a revamp as well. I do not have any new drugstore foundations, but I do have a couple high-end ones that I want to try. This is my overflow foundation. We've got these 4 foundations that I tried since I've done my last Shop My Stash. This first one, and honestly the one that I was the most impressed with, this is the HAUS Labs TRICLONE Skin Tech Foundation 470 Medium Deep Cool. Guys, this comes in so many different colors. When I tell you, this looked and felt like skin, so beautiful. A medium coverage. So I just want to use it with some other products and play with it a little bit more. Also very impressed by this foundation, and it's definitely a unique formula. Sorry, I'm trying not to give you guys a flashback. Cream foundation and finishing powder duo, and I have this in the color Tan 3. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this foundation, and personally I liked it because I have never tried a cream foundation that gave me the finish that this did at a lower price. I feel like one thing the drugstore does lack is like cream foundations and stick foundations, and I love the concept of a finishing powder just to set everything in place. A go-to for travel, everyday makeup, simple makeup. I do not think that I have tried this more than once. I know I've used the concealer a bazillion times. KOSAS Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, and I have this in the color Olive 360. I loved the concealer, so every time I love a concealer and it has a foundation in its family, I'm really intrigued to try it to see if it's just as good, and I don't remember what I thought about that. This is the most recent addition to the collection, Sephora Best Skin Ever Foundation in the color 44Y. I was very, very impressed with the way that this wore, considering that it claims to be a natural finish foundation, and it did give pretty good coverage. I feel like it's really hard to make that even look remotely organized. Hands down, my favorite makeup item to collect is foundation and concealer. I'm such a firm believer that if your base is bomb, you are set. These are all of the high-end concealers that were in Full Face First Impressions this month, meaning I've only used them once. I feel like some brands are so known for one particular product that the rest of their products kind of get overshadowed. And I, of course, am the person that's like, well, if their loose setting powder is really good, maybe their concealer is really good too. It's Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. Next, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, and I have this in the color 15. I actually prefer the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish over the Beautiful Skin Foundation, but I really do love natural finish concealers for underneath the eyes, so that's why I wanted to give this a try. Pure Cosmetics Push Up 4-in-1 Sculpting Concealer, and I have this in the color DG3. This I absolutely loved the first time I tried it. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Erythral Light Illuminating Smoothing Concealer. If you have tried the original Too Faced Born This Way concealer and it has too much coverage for you, I think this would be perfect for you, because this is just a step down version of this, and this is also more of a natural finish. First impression, I liked this Charlotte Tilbury concealer better than the Beautiful Skin. Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer, and I have this in the color 12.5. Look at the inside of my lid. So nasty. It definitely is a thicker concealer, and I remember when I first opened this and saw how thick it was and saw this issue where it barely fits into here. You see how the applicator is literally touching the lid. I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this. This is not good. But the formula on this is immaculate. Like, I still don't understand how it looked as good as it did. But if you guys can see, look at that line. So this is the line where I've used it. I've only used this product once, and the pump is all the way up here, which is, that means it's over halfway used. Dominique Cosmetics concealer, and I have this in the color Cafe de Canela. I may be saying that wrong, but this has an interesting applicator. Actually a metal applicator, it's not a dofa. So I do remember liking this concealer, like the formula of it, but this component, with how much concealer I use, I literally had to dip into it 5 times. I actually loved this concealer more than the foundation. Sephora Best Skin Ever Full Coverage Multi-Use Concealer. And the reason that I loved this and was more impressed with this than the foundation is because this had such high coverage, but it was so creamy and so lightweight, and so is the foundation. But to find a concealer that is lightweight, creamy, and blendable and pigmented, I do have one drugstore concealer that I tried. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Last Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer, and I have this in the color Medium Golden. This is definitely my highlighting shade. I do not use this as my skin tone shade, and I could not find anything darker than this. I'm really hoping that maybe Ulta just carried a couple of the colors, which they do sometimes. I love all of my pot concealers that I use to carve out my brows. I only have one new one, so I'm going to use that and then pick 2 other ones. The new one that we have is the Rem Beauty Concealer, and I have this in the color Tan 4G, and I use this underneath my brows to clean them up after I put pomade and pencil in them. And this was actually really pigmented and had a nice natural finish to it, which I don't mind. I just go over a little translucent setting powder. This comes in 60 shades. I feel like I have not used this MAC concealer in a hot minute. MAC Studio Finish Concealer, the OG of high-end concealers. in the color NC45. NYX Full Coverage Concealer, and I have this in the color Caramel. I love how pigmented this stuff is, and it is thicker, so it really does a nice job at holding my brow hairs down. This is definitely not something I would use underneath my eyes. I am a complexion junkie at heart. I've got to reconfigure this situation. Milani Make It Last setting powder, and this is just in the color Translucent. And then I also have this NYX HD finishing powder, and this is also in the color Translucent. First impression, I think I liked this one a little bit better than this one. This lightened my makeup just a tad, but it didn't give me any flashback. One loose setting powder that I used in my last full face of first impressions, Black Opal Soft Velvet Finishing Powder, and I have this in the color 200 Neutral Light, and I use this underneath my eyes. It's like the perfect tone to keep that brightness. From that same brand, we have the Black Opal Oil Absorbing Press Powder, and I have this in the color Caramel Crush. So I actually was able to use this as a touch-up powder in my last video. Sometimes I found that colored powders can get really cakey on the face really fast and start to look like super makeup-y, feel super heavy. This did not do that. I was experiencing smile lines on the sides of my face. I put this over it and it completely got rid of them. Didn't look like I added more makeup, it just made it look fresh. ColourPop Pretty Fresh Pressed Face Powder, and I have this in the color Medium 12. I like this for underneath my eyes, but I'm telling you guys, ColourPop Pretty Fresh line, the concealer, foundation, and powder are amazing. I love when I find trios like that. CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 16-Hour Full Coverage Powder, color 862 Natural Tan, BH Cosmetics. They're the same powder, just in different colors. Matte Finish Press Powders, and I have these in the colors 240 and 250. I've only used these once, and they did give a good amount of pigment. Let's fix this mess, because this is stressing me out. On to this powder drawer that does not look any better than the other one. I've only got two new high-end loose setting powders. This first one is from Haus Labs, Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. I have this in the color Golden. It's more of a brightening color. You know I love a powder if I have it in like a brightening color, a translucent color, and then a color for my face. Dominique Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Now it is time for highlighter, blush, and bronzer. I am over on the drugstore side. I'll mention these two together. These two products are from the brand Undone Beauty. I have only seen these at Target, but they could be other places. Lip to Cheek palette, and it's a 3-in-1. If you guys look super up close, you can see that there's lines in the product. So apparently this top one's supposed to be sheer, the middle one's supposed to be medium coverage, and then the bottom one is supposed to be high coverage, which I thought was really interesting. And I did not realize that when I tried it, so I wanted to go ahead and mention that to you guys. Next best thing that I have tried to the Milani cream blushes. I mean, the formula was just so buildable. Very impressed by this palette right here, Undone Beauty Warm Up Bronzer, and you have two highlighter shades and then two bronzing shades. These highlighters, I don't know why I thought that they weren't going to be good. Looks can be deceiving, clearly. This is so silky, and it was so pigmented. I have another cream blush, NYX Wonder Stick, and I have this in the color Deep Peach. You have this color on one side, this color on the other side. I used the highlighting stick and bronzer stick in my last Shop My Stash. I've been obsessed with that product while I've been using it. Now we have moved over to the high-end drawer. Only one new cream bronzer, a Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer, and I have this in the color Deep Bronze. What I loved about this when I used it was how blendable it is, and it actually gives a really nice glow to the skin, which I like when I'm using my cream products because it just makes my skin look like skin. I don't mind matte cream products as long as they don't pull my makeup off. I went ahead in my last video and tried Rare Beauty Melting Blush in the color Nearly Rose. It's a really pretty bright pink. I don't have anything like this except for in a Patrick Ta limited edition palette that you guys can't get anymore. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna do a pop of color. Actually, the bronzer stick from Rare Beauty in the color True Warmth. I just want to show you guys what it looks like. This is supposed to be a bronzer. For my liking, it's a little bit too red. It's so red to the point that it actually is beautiful as a dark nude blush. Usually I don't apply the stick straight to my face, but I applied the stick straight to my face with this product and it didn't take my makeup off from underneath. Lastly, we have one highlighter, Alamar Cosmetics, the Sun Highlighter La Playa highlighter. Look at how beautiful that is. Again, this reminds me of actually the Undone Beauty. Just, it's so finely milled that it's not chunky or glittery. It just gives a beautiful glow to the cheeks. Next is lips. I only pull lip products when I have a new lip product for the month, because on a daily basis, I do not wear lip liner, lipstick, gloss. I just wear like my lip masks and my lip balms that are in this little box. I do have some new products. I forgot that I have tried quite a few new formulas. What you guys will see, especially with my lip liners and my lipsticks, if I like a formula, I buy multiple colors in it. So I really love Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liners. I love the Sephora collection Rouge Gel lip liners. I really like Juvia's Place NYX lip liners. So most of my lip liners are from the same brand, just different colors. Rare Beauty Kind Words Matte lip liners. Top one right here is in the color Strong, and this bottom one is in the color Wise. I really did like the formula of both of these. It wasn't like, wow, oh my gosh, it's amazing, but I will continue to use them because it was nice, but it's not something that I would go out and repurchase if I ran out of, because it's not life-changing. I also had a really funny experience with this lip liner. This is the Rem Beauty lip liner pencil in the color Reverb. The first time that I initially used this, I was filming my last full face of first impressions. This lip liner had the best longevity out of any lip liner I've ever tried. I ate, I slept, I napped, I wore my makeup for like 15 hours and this lip liner was still on. Okay, well, I had to refilm that video because I lost my SIM card. And the second time I used this, like, it was so dry on the lips. It wasn't as long lasting. I don't know. I'm convinced that it was because the second time I filmed it, I had to take a break in filming and go to a dinner. So I think my lip mask kind of wore off a little bit faster before I reapplied this. So I'm gonna say that it's that. We have one drugstore lip liner. This is just the Morphe color pencil in the color Bite Me. I also tried my first Morphe lipstick. This is just in the color Cuddle. I actually just found out is discontinued. So I'm gonna see if I can get another color close to it, because I really, really loved this formula, how shiny it was. It looked like I had gloss on my lip and it was super pigmented. Next is my lip masks, which these are what I use on a daily basis. I usually don't put any color on my lips. Patrick Ta She's Juicy Lip Mask. NARS Orgasm lip mask with some really pretty pink packaging. Ilia Lip Wrap Hydrating Mask. Last but not least, we have mascara, brows, and eyeliner. I'm going back to the drugstore side. Maybelline Lash Discovery. I bought this because it has like a super tiny wand that I thought would be perfect for my lower lashes. When I used this in my full face of first impression, can't tell a difference between my lashes. It did nothing for them. Little excessive on the brow pencils, I know. But the reason I'm pulling so many of these is because I think I'm gonna get rid of 2 or 3 of them. And brow pencils are something I only have to use 2 or 3 times to know if I like them or not, because I don't have to do like a lot of combinations like I have to with my complexion products. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get rid of this product. Rare Beauty Brow Harmony Brow Pencil in the color Cool Brown. I just was really not a huge fan of, number one, the formula. I think this color, it claims to be like a cool brown, but it literally looked gray on me. Bigger applicators like this don't bother me because I have an e.l.f. brow pencil that I like that is this size. It was not doing it for me. I had to try so hard to get my brows to look good with this product, and that is something I do not believe in, and that is because I have so many drugstore brow pencils that I love that I do not have to try and use multiple different products to make it look good. KOSAS brow pencil, and I have this in the color Brown Black. I honestly don't remember what I thought when I used this because it's been a minute, but I love this like clear colored packaging. I only tried this once, and I bought this because of TikTok, the Refi brow pencil. I do want to point out this little package right here to you guys. It says do not twist up more than 2 millimeters. And this is something I am so guilty of. Sometimes I roll my product up too far and then I press too hard and I lose my product, and it's literally nobody's fault but mine. So you would think that it's common sense, but honestly, you like just don't think about it. So I love that little disclaimer right there. It's the small things, guys. Sephora collection brow pencil, and I have this in the color Ebony. I almost have enough makeup to do a full face of Sephora collection makeup, and I'm pretty excited about it because the Sephora collection doesn't play, y'all. It is more affordable than a lot of the other stuff in Sephora, which is what I love because the products are just as good as everything else. These last 3 brow pencils are all from the drugstore, and these are like my in-between brow pencils. She's okay, C average, and honestly, some of these products I only hang on to, that way I can do a full face one brand tutorial. I've gotten to the point where like, I'm not gonna hold on to things if I don't love them. I'm not gonna tell you guys to buy something if I don't love it. I try to give you guys as many options as possible because I know that not everything I like works for all of you guys. I wanna use these a little bit more and see if I would recommend them and if I would repurchase them. Morphe micro brow pencil, and this is in the color Java. NYX micro brow pencil, and I have this in the color Espresso. I actually just decluttered the brow pomade, and I decluttered it because I think my product is so old that it's starting to not be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and repurchase the brow pomade because I used to really like it. Some of these pomades I have had for 4 or 5 years and they don't dry out. I'm not telling you guys to hang on to your makeup for that long. That is not what I'm getting at. LA Girl brow pencil, and I have this one in the color Blackest Brown. No new brow pomades this time around, so we're just gonna use 2 of my favorites from the drugstore. Arches and Halos Luxury Brow Building Pomade, and I have this in the color dark brown. I need to get my hands on black brown / ebony, but this is all they had at CVS at the time. Morphe brow cream in the color Chocolate Mousse. This is very similar to the e.l.f. brow and liner cream. Super, super creamy. And lastly, we've got mascara. This first one is the Pat McGrath Labs Fetish Eyes Mascara. That is what the wand looks like. NYX Worth the Height Mascara. That is what that wand looks like. Milani Highly Rated Mascara. That is what that wand looks like. Finally got all the makeup ready to put in the drawers, so all the new stuff is on top, and we are just gonna go ahead and get everything in the drawer. This is what the drawer is looking like. I always get so excited at the beginning of the month because I've got all my new products and it just kind of re-inspires me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.